constituency. I'm from Rivers State. My point of order is on personal explanation. Mr. Speaker, I have noticed, with due respect to you, Mr.
You say your point of order is?
Personal explanation. I have noticed, Mr. Speaker, with due respect to you, Mr. Speaker, each time you preside, you do not give preference to first-timers. Look at the mover of the motion is a ranking member. Virtually everyone who contributed here were all ranking members. You need to allow for fresh ideas. You need to allow for fresh ideas, Mr. Speaker. Some of us, we know more than the old ranking members. Allow us to speak. I took time to listen. Virtually everyone who contributed here are all ranking members. And this is always what you do. And I don't like it. So if you allow me, I'll make my contribution, Mr. Speaker. You allow me, I'll make my contribution. This matter is very critical to our country. All right.
Thank you very much. You see, there is no discrimination in the parliament. Focusing. Sometimes we give one per role. So if you happen not to be on that role, when we call for people to raise their hand there, it might elude you. I was also once a first-time member. So and I knew that I was not discriminated against. So let's not make it first-time member or that's not the right way of discussing it. All right. So I want to put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Is Honorable Bello Shehu in the House, please?
Federal constituency.
We'll listen to this motion first. If there's no 1 minute silence, we cannot do it. So that we don't start so many times. So let's take out the motion and then we'll do the 1 minute silence together. Thank you. So go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I'm Barrister Muhammad Bello Shehu, representing the people of Fege Federal constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I raise this morning under the guise of Order 8, Rule 5, to move a motion of urgent public importance on the urgent need for the federal government to intervene on the menace of erosion and flood in Fege Federal constituency. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable colleagues. The House notes that there is an ongoing disaster of flood and erosion in Kano as predicted by the National Flood Early Warning System, Center of the Federal Ministry of Environment, Abuja, in which Kano was listed among locations likely to witness heavy rainfall that might lead to flood and erosion within the period of prediction. A motion, Mr. Speaker, was brought to this House on the 25th of July 2023 by my humble self, stating the ordeal suffered by my constituents, and resolutions were made by the House, but unfortunately, actions is yet to be taken to that effect. Aware that Korungogau, Emma Tagabas, Darirawa particularly, Kwachiri, Sabon Birni, Alpha, Tudumbujua, Alasawa, Jaba, Kwaring Akuya, and Kwakwachi, all in Fege Federal constituency area of Kano State, are facing severe and destructive environmental degradation and poverty as a result of erosion and flood. Mr. Speaker, worried that as a result of this erosion and flood, industrial activities and commercial activities are shattered and sources of income have been wrecked, which in effect has led to low food production, and these environmental degradations need to be addressed and their effects need to be reduced on the populace. Resolve, Mr. Speaker, to urge the Federal Ministry of Environment and the Ecological Fund Office to, as a matter of urgency, intervene by assessing the erosion problem with the view to ensuring the execution of erosion control and remediation projects at all the affected communities. Number two, to also urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to supply relief materials to the affected areas. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, number 3, further urge the Federal Ministry of Works to rehabilitate and reconstruct the affected roads in the communities. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So straight to the point. Any seconder to that motion? Yes, Kelechi.
The right, Honorable Speaker. I remain Honorable Kelechi Nwogu, River State, the treasure base of the nation. I rise to second the motion moved by my colleague. I so second.
The good people of Kura, Madobi, and Garumal and Farah constituency.
Honorable Kura, remember to suspend the rule because this is I think it's the 4th one?
Yes, I rise this morning under Order 8, Rule 5, to present a motion on the need for urgent humanitarian assistance for victims of tragic accident in Imawa town of Kura local government, Kano State. May I seek the leave of the House to suspend the relevant House rules to allow me to take this motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Maki, serve as the whip of the House today, and please reduce the amount of people who come here so that we can focus, please.
Need for urgent humanitarian assistance for victims of tragic accident in Imawa town along Zaria Road, Zaria Kano Highway of Kura local government, Kano State. The House notes that on Friday, June 28, 2024, a tragic accident occurred in Imawa town along Zaria Kano Highway in Kura local government area of Kano State, when a truck with registration number MKA 537XN lost control and ran into pedestrians who had just concluded their Friday prayers, killing 14 people instantly and leaving several others sustaining several injuries. Also note that while the departed souls have since been buried according to Islamic rite, the situation has left the injured victims and the families of the departed in a very difficult condition that requires urgent humanitarian intervention. Worried that the alarming increase in accidents of reckless driving leading to tragic fatalities on our road is becoming a serious threat to the safety and well-being of all residents along highways. These incidents are often caused by drivers losing control of their vehicles due to overspeeding, dangerous overtaking, or failure to adhere to driving regulations. Aware that the loss of lives and the resultant grief for families and community cannot be overstated. While the frequency of these tragic incidents continue to rise, it is clear that immediate and decisive action is required to arrest and address this ugly incident. Resolves that the House observe 1 minute silence in honor of the departed innocent souls. Second, the House extends its compassion to the victims of this tragic accident by urging the National Emergency Management Agency and Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs to provide immediate relief materials and other emergency supplies to the families of the affected victims. Call on the Federal Road Safety Commission to intensify patrol activities on highways, particularly targeting reckless drivers, and ensure that such offenders face appropriate penalties that reflect the severity of their action. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any seconder to this motion? Yes.
My name is Clement Jimbo. I represent the very good people of Abak at Mekbu, Ika Federal Constituency. I'm from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, colleagues,
I will encourage you to abridge this, please, because it's too long. because we still have 1 or 2 more to take, please.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As you guide, I will do exactly that, sir. I rise this afternoon to stand on Order 8, Rule 5, subsection 2.1 and 2.2, and plead with the House to move this motion of urgent public importance. It is on the urgent need to end food insecurity through mechanized agricultural revolution across the country. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this motion? Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm Hussaini Mohamed Jallo, representing the good people of the Federal Constituency of Kaduna State.
Thank you, my Speaker. The motion is on the urgent need to end food insecurity through mechanized agricultural revolution across the country. The House notes that the National Assembly is saddled with the responsibility and task of making laws for the peace, order, and good governance of the Federation, as enshrined in Section 4, Subsection 2 of the Constitution as amended, cognizant on Section 16, Subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, which states that the state shall, within the context of ideal and objectives for which provisions are made in this Constitution, harness the resources of the nation and promote national prosperity and an efficient, dynamic, and self-reliant economy. Also cognizant that according to Food and Agriculture Organization, agriculture remains the foundation of our country's economy, providing livelihood for most Nigerians and generating millions of jobs. Acknowledges the effort of the federal government intervention strategies, which include release of fertilizers to farmers and grains to households, activation of land bank, among others. Aware that Nigeria has a total of 70.8 million hectares of agricultural land, of which 34 million hectares are arable land, which maize, rice, cassava, beans, yam, palm oil, etc. grow effectively with less soil improvement. Also aware that the Bureau of Statistics, with the support of World Bank and Food Agriculture Organization, recently released the National Agricultural Sample Census Report 2022 that captured a total of 40.2 million agricultural households in Nigeria. The report further states that agriculture remains a cornerstone of Nigeria's economy, supporting millions of livelihood and contributing significantly to the nation's GDP. Despite its importance, the sector has faced numerous challenges, including outdated and insufficient data.
Please, can you go to your prayers, please?
Effective planning and resources. I go to the prayers, Mr. Speaker. The House resolved accordingly and urged the federal government, in collaboration with state governments, to demarcate a minimum of 18,000 hectares of arable land in each of the 6 zones and name it geo-agricultural zones. To mandate the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to apportion these demarcated arable lands according to comparative advantage in crop production. 3, further mandates the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Sufficiency to appoint seasoned agriculturists in each zone and call them geo-agricultural zone project managers, with the sole mandate to cultivate this land using mechanization, to process and proceed of this cultivation stored in Nigeria National Food Bank of the nation. And finally, Mr. Speaker, also urge the House Committee on Agricultural Production and Services to monitor compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any seconder to this motion? Yes.
Nnewi South and Ekusigo constituency. Mr. Speaker, my dearest colleagues, I rise this afternoon to urge the urgent need for immortalization of Professor Humphrey Nwosu, the former NEC chairman, that returned His Excellency MKO Abiola as the winner of June 12, 1993 presidential election. The House notes that Professor Humphrey Nwosu was appointed...
Let it be seconded.
Okay. Professor Humphrey Nwosu was appointed the National Electoral Commission, NEC, chairman from 1989 to 1993 by the military president Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida.
Honorable Jimmy, approach the chair.
Cognizance of various efforts made by the various administrations to immortalize those that fought for the democracy we all are beneficiaries. The House also knows that an edifice, the Abuja National Stadium, was named after the winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, Moshood MKO Abiola, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari GCFR. The House further knows that His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari GCFR demonstrated an honest remorsefulness of the injustice of June 12, 1993 by changing Democracy Day from May 29 to June 12, which was celebrated with all sense of pride in 2024 by His Excellency President Ahmed Bola Tinubu GCFR, who was part of the struggle of June 12, 1993. The House is worried about the continued neglect of Professor Humphrey Nwosu, who put his life on the line to see that justice was not only done, but seen to be done. Concerned that the national anthem was changed, and we all pray to God to help us build a nation where no man is oppressed, yet Professor Humphrey Nwosu is still not celebrated while he is alive. Aware of many edifices we are named after our heroes past, like Louis Edet House for police, Michael Imodu for labor, Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport, Murtala Mohammed Airport, and MKO Abiola Stadium, etc., etc. Disturbed that none, not even a road, is named after this hero of our democracy till date. The House resolves. We urge the federal government to immortalize Professor Humphrey Nwosu when he is still alive. 2. Urge the federal government to give Professor Humphrey Nwosu national honor. 3. Also urge the federal government to name the INEC office headquarters after Professor Humphrey Nwosu if the House so agree. Number 4. Urge the federal government to invite Professor Humphrey Nwosu to every Democracy Day celebrations. I urge my honorable colleagues in this respected People's House to support this motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this honor.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. That was three members as follows. Honorable Mahmouda Abdullahi, Chairman, is the Chairman, Committee on Judiciary. Honorable Olumide Osoba, Chairman of Justice, is a member. Honorable Patrick Omor, PhD, Honorable Solomon Bob, Honorable Joe Onakalose. These are members of the Conference Committee on this particular bill, SB 419. You'll be interacting with Senator Mongono, who is the Chairman of the committee from the Senate. The next committee is Constitution of Conferee on the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Bill 2024. The chairman of this committee is Honorable Abbas Abawurin, Chairman Narcotic Drugs, Honorable Ginger Musibe, Chairman Financial Crime, Honorable Iliyasu Aliyu Abubakar, member. Honorable Ibe Osonwa, member. Honorable Jimmy Benson, member. You'll be interacting with Senator Mongono Mohamed Taher as the chairman of the committee from the Senate and his members. Honorable colleagues, the business of the day, the first business of the day is the presentation of 13 bills. And I invite the clerk to read their short title. Clerk, please.